Today we are going to discuss an important topic, a topic that is so dear to my heart. There are times where I sit down with students, I sit down with mentees in a conversation, and I ask them who they are, and the answers, differ from person to person. There's a huge gap when it comes to identity. So in this episode, as well as in subsequent episode, it's going to be in 3 episodes. We'll be looking at the concept of identity, who you are, the concept of identity. I'll be giving a short lecture on identity, and we'll look at what identity is. We'll also look at how to extract your identity. We will look at the voice of identity. Now, this is very, very important to your development as a person, because your identity unlocks your potential. It unlocks your greatness. When you get to know who you are, your generation celebrates you. Your generation is happy. Your generation is glad that, yes, you have arrived. Okay. Anytime you're asked who you are, you're basically referring to your identity. Okay. So what is identity? When we talk about identity, what do we mean by identity? So I'll go into the dictionary and try to extract, the definition of identity from that. So I'll use the Merriam-Webster dictionary, and the definition of identity means the distinguished character or personality of an individual. So basically, when we refer to identity, we are talking about the distinguished character, the characteristics that make someone unique, different from another person. And truth be said, everyone is different, everyone is unique, everyone is, having special abilities, capacities, and all of that. So all of us here, all of us on this space, in this dimension on earth, carry unique potential, different abilities, capacities within ourselves. And these things contribute to our identity. Identity. It talks about that uniqueness that you have. Okay? Your unique abilities, your unique capacities, and all of that. And those things forms your personality. Basically, that is the foundation of identity. Your identity also goes in line with your interest, your passion, what you really love, what tickles you, what moves you, what propels you. These are the things, or these are the coordinates that you normally find in identity. Okay, so most of the times when I sit with mentees or I sit with students and we are talking, I ask them some of these questions. The things that they are passionate about, the things that moves them, the things that makes them happy, the things that brings value to them, the things that brings self-actualization to them. So it's very, very powerful. But in as much as all these things are very good, getting to know your passion, what moves you, what makes you happy, what tickles you, and all of that, there is something important that is missing, especially when it comes to the identity resolution, how to resolve your identity. And today I'm going to go deeper, because this is very, very important. At the heart of every identity is actually a nature. And for me, as a person of faith, I believe that there are 2 kinds of nature. There is the divine nature, and there is also what we call the natural nature. Now, you would understand why I'm saying this, because it is not enough to get to know the passion, the interest, and all of these things. They are very good. But the truth is that there is something that programs those kinds of things, and I call it the voice of identity. The voice of your identity comes from your nature, the nature that you possess. So every human being possesses a nature, and that nature is actually the culture that is within you. There's a culture within you. There's a way you do your things. There's a way you go about your things. There's a way you live your life. It's within you. It's like a nature within you. So for example, if you are born in a particular geographical area, by default, there's a kind of life that you live. There's a kind of thinking pattern that you possess. So it becomes your nature. And sometimes your passion, your interest and everything flows along that particular line. Your thinking pattern, the way they do the things, the way they dress and everything. So you program your identity along that nature, because your nature is a voice, and the voice in your life determines the direction you go. The highest voice in your life determines the direction you go. So it's important you fix this voice. It's very, very important. It's very, very important you fix that voice, the highest voice in your life, because in life you get to hear a lot of voices. They come in a form of counsel. Okay, and counsel is what actually helps you to establish your purpose. If you really want to establish your purpose, it's through counsel. However, not every counsel establishes purpose for you. That's what I mean by you need to fix that highest voice, because the highest voice in you, or the voice that you hear the loudest, is a voice that controls you, is a voice that gives you direction. And today I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Every man born has a nature. And if you are born in Europe, if you are born in Asia, if you are born in Africa, by default, you have a certain kind of nature. There's a way you think, there's a way you go about your activities. So if care is not taken, you would build upon this nature. And you would realize that your nature somehow will be controlling who you are. But that is not what God wants. Okay, that's what I mean by extracting faith. So let's look at the extraction process. So the first thing that you need to do is to go back to the maker, is to go back to the manufacturer, the one who created you, the one who brought you to the surface of the earth. Because take it or leave it, everyone walking on this surface of the earth has a maker, and the maker is the creator. The creator is God. Okay, maybe you are not a person of faith listening to me, but you need to go back to the maker to fix you, to be able to identify who you truly are. You need to sit down with your maker. You need to go back to your maker and sit down and program yourself, because to really identify who you are, you need to unprogram yourself from certain things. There are some cultures that limit your identity. There are some cultures, or there are some practices within certain cultures that actually limit your potential, and you need to throw all of those cultures away. And it is only God who will tell you that this culture that you were born into is not good for you. You need to change it. And it happened to Abraham. God had to pick him out of the culture, had to pick him from his family, because he said that, no, I want to make you great, but your family, I need to take you out of the family. Not that I'm taking you out of the family, you're no longer part of the family. No, I need to take you out of the culture. I need to reprogram your mind. I need to change the way you go about your activities, because your nature is influenced by that, the culture you find yourself in. So we have the two kinds of nature. We have the divine nature and we have the natural nature. So let me just sum up to these two things and then we move on. So the divine nature is the nature that you fixed. Okay, it's a nature that is in an advanced form. It's the advanced nature of the natural nature. Because if you don't fix it, by default you have a natural nature, and that natural nature responds to your geographical location, the family you are born into, where you're coming from, the language you speak, all these things contribute to the natural nature. But when you fix that, you move from the natural nature, you come to the advanced nature. And that is the nature that has been programmed by God. It's a nature that has been installed by God. Okay? So when you have a new phone, probably if it is an Apple product, we have an operating system called the iOS. So that is the nature. Take it as the nature. Then you bring the application. You can't even install any kind of application. You need to go to the App Store, then get apps from that place and install it so that it can run. So there are people who have the natural nature and they are trying to install a divine application on it. You realize that you get a complication along the process. At a point, there will be incompatibility, or you will not really have a flow with your nature. So it is important you fix this. You need to really fix this. You need to really fix this. You need to really fix this. You need to upgrade. You need to move from your natural nature to the divine nature. Okay? And that is how that the whole gospel theme is all about. God created a man called Adam. He placed Adam in a beautiful place. Adam is drawn out of his nature. Fast forward, the nature draws backwards. So Adam is created with an advanced nature. That advanced nature helps him to access the voice of God. A new voice comes into Adam's life and tells him that no, this nature is not good for you, and the one who gave you this is actually limiting you. And Adam decides to listen to the other voice. He drops from the divine nature to the natural nature. And God is not happy, and God is, no, I need you to come back to the advanced nature. I need you to come back to the divine nature. That is the nature that I created for you. So God now plans again, brings a new plan, comes back to the earth in the form of Jesus Christ, to bring us back into the advanced nature so that we can live the life that God wants us to live. Simple. That's just the summation of the gospel. So you are not getting saved because you want to, run away from your problems. No. It is because God wants you to fix your identity. Your identity. So that's what I mean by extracting your identity from the place of faith. Now, why is this important? Because your nature determines your level of awareness. When you are in your divine nature, there is this level of awareness that you're able to access. There is this level of awareness that you're able to unlock. So your natural nature has its own level of awareness. Now, within this awareness, so this awareness that I'm talking about is like the GPS, right? So if you have a GPS in your car, okay, and probably you want to go to the market, you put in the destination, you slot it there, and it tells you, okay, based on where I am, analyzing the place that I am, this is the direction you need to, take so that you can get to the market. So it scans the area, make sure it's aware of the locality, and gives you direction. So it tells you, go left, go 25 miles, turn left, turn right, go, and it'll be mentioning the places for you. So your nature determines your level of awareness. Once you fix the nature, you now get to know that, okay, so this is where I find myself. This is what I need to do to migrate and get to where I want to. Because like the GPS, it is able to bring you on track. So a lot of people are born with a natural nature. So once you advance into the divine nature, by default, it tells you how far you've deviated from your purpose, your calling, your dream, and it brings you on track, and it now teaches you what you need to do. That's what I mean by the voice of identity. So this is where we end with this episode. We'll continue in the next episode. Bye for now.